All right, guys, so the OnePlus 12, it's here. You guys know how I feel about OnePlus products over the past year. One of my favorite devices last year, the OnePlus 11, the best folding phone in the US, the OnePlus Open. My favorite earbuds, the OnePlus Buds Pro 2, the OnePlus Buds 3 now. OnePlus has finally given us the never settle, right? Their slogan, never settle. We've been waiting for the device to match the slogan. What does it mean? Bang for buck, never settle. You don't have to spend $1,300 or $1,200 for a flagship device. OnePlus, they always fell short a little bit, right? Whether it was the cameras or whatever it may be, the price, they always fell a little bit short. The OnePlus 12 changes that, and we finally get the device that matches the slogan, never settle, in my opinion. Guys, if you're new to the channel, hit that like, drop a sub. Let's talk about the OnePlus 12. I've had this since launch. I did buy this. This was not sent to me. And I'm just going to give you my thoughts on using this device since launch. Big fan. Obviously, my SIM card is in here. I love Oxygen OS. You guys know that if you follow me. This isn't really going to be a full review, just kind of a first impression on the OnePlus 12. Now, this is finally, again, like I mentioned earlier, the flagship phone that we've been wanting. So all of the specs on here, we're not going to go over all the specs on here, but we'll talk about some of them because it does matter when we talk about bang for buck. What are we getting for our money? So we're getting Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, the best, the most powerful, chip we can get in a phone. Same one that's in the S24 Ultra, the $1,300 flagship, which is a beast. I'll give credit to where credit is due, but the OnePlus 12 is about $400, $500 cheaper, depending on the storage. Now, this model right here is the $899 model, the 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage. And mind you, there's also virtual RAM on here. So not only can you have 16 gigs of RAM, you can get some virtual RAM on here as well. I believe I have it turned on. Yeah, so if you have enough storage, you can turn on virtual RAM and get another 12 gigs of RAM. So 16 gigs of RAM plus another 12 gigabytes of virtual RAM plus 512 gigs of storage. Now that is the $899 one. And for $100 cheaper, you can get I believe it's 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, which is more than enough for most people. Now, one of the good things, we're getting some good trade-in deals from OnePlus. I think I got $600 for the phone I traded in for this. So I only paid a couple $100 out of pocket for this device. Plus, they had like that $50 early bird coupon where you got another $50 off. So very cool. Now, OnePlus, what do we know about them, right? Beautiful 6.8-inch display, watching content on here, gaming on here, no issues. This is a powerful beast. It will get you through the day. It will get you through anything. It's a beautiful display. Very bright, very vivid colors on here, not oversaturated. I think a little toned down from what we get from Samsung, but still a beautiful display. Gorilla Victus 2. This is an aluminum frame, I believe, on here. The back on here does come in two colorways. So this black colorway, which I do love because you don't really see many fingerprints on here, if any. You do get that camera bump on the back. The Hasselblad partnership that we have, this is their 4th gen Hasselblad partnership. So we are getting improvements year over year on the cameras. I do have a full video coming on the video quality and the camera. Here's just a few pics that I did take with this camera. Overall, a very nice job. The best cameras on a OnePlus device, up to date, up to this far in their life cycle. So again, we are getting some cool things on here. This is I don't want to say it's a heavy phone, but you can tell it's got some good weight to it. It is a premium feeling phone. I believe it's 220 grams weight-wise compared to what we had on the OnePlus 11. A little lighter of a phone, but most of that is because of the battery in here. A 5,400 milliamp battery on here. Not only do we get a huge battery, we get the fastest charging on a phone that I've ever seen. 80 watts charging. This thing will charge from 0 to 100 in about 20 minutes. You also get the 50 watt wireless charging on here, but you do have to pick that wireless charger up from OnePlus, which I haven't picked it up yet, but I think I am going to. I want to test the wireless charging from 0 to 100 and see how long that takes. It should be pretty cool because it's 50 watts wireless charging, which is insane at this point. Now, saying that, charging speeds on here are very fast. The phone still does not get very hot, not compared to what we get on the S24 Ultra or the iPhone, this does stay nice and cool on here. Now, the camera bump on the back, they do say that it's supposed to look like a watch face. I do have the OnePlus Watch 2 coming in. I believe it gets delivered tomorrow, so I will have some videos on that. That's also a reason why I have my SIM card in the OnePlus 12, getting used to this, and then I will be, I want the whole ecosystem, so we're going to go in from there with the OnePlus Watch and the OnePlus 12, and I am ordering the 12R either today or tomorrow, so stay tuned for a ton of videos on OnePlus content. Now, the curved edges on here, you guys know I prefer a flat display, but the curved edges on here, the width of this phone is not as wide as any of the other flagships, so it is more comfortable to hold because of the curved glass, and it's just not as wide as other phones. So of course it's easier to hold, more comfortable to hold. I do prefer a flat display. Now, this is an LTPO AMOLED display on here. It will drop all the way down to 1. And of course, when you are scrolling and using your device, it will go all the way up to 120. It is a very smooth and powerful phone. Oxygen OS is one of my favorite operating systems. It's always been pretty clean, close to stock OS, stock Android, not really, but very close. I do like the experience. I've always said like a OnePlus phone and Oxygen OS is very similar to like what we get. If you're going from an iPhone to an Android device, I would say go to Oxygen OS. If not that, try a Pixel, right? Go closer to stock Android. Overall, it's a smoother and less bloated experience. One UI has gotten better over the years, but I still think this is just smoother in a lot of ways. Now, one thing I do love about this phone is the brightness on here, up to 4,500 peak nits of brightness on the OnePlus 12. And you're going to be able to use this outside without any issues at all. I was driving today. I shouldn't be driving it on my phone, but I was driving and it was sunny and I just wanted to check it out, and super bright. No issues at all outside using this device. That is 4,500 peak brightness is insane. Now, most of the time, you probably will never get there. You're not going to need to, but it's there if you need it. Now, the in-display fingerprint sensor on here is fantastic. I mean, it works every time. I really don't have an issue with it at all. Pretty much works every single time. And on top of that, the haptics on this device, OnePlus has always given us great haptic feedback, and that is one thing, whether you're sending a text message, typing, whatever it is, the fingerprint sensor, the haptics on here are fantastic, very clean, very smooth and punchy, and you can adjust it if you want. The display on here is absolutely beautiful, 6.8-inch display on here, just a beautiful display. Watching content on here is a good time. Always nice to look at. Now we also get that slider on here, that OnePlus signature slider that we get on their devices. I'm so glad that they kept it or brought it back a few years ago and we still have it. Now we also get an IR blaster on the top. So if you want to use this as a remote for your TV, you can do that. How cool would this phone have been if we had a headphone jack on here? Could you imagine if this device here with the IR blaster and all we get for our money just had a headphone jack? Man, forget it. Forget it. Now, I talked about the camera briefly in the beginning with a few samples. We're not going to do a full camera, in-depth conversation right now, but this is a camera finally with OnePlus that you could just, whip out of your pocket. If you want to take a picture of your kid, if you got kids or your dogs, whatever it may be. In the past, you would be kind of weary about whether you would get a good photo. Now, for the most part, depending on the lighting, you're getting really good photos, really good portrait, really good video on here. It does go 8K up to 24 frames per second or 4K at 30 and 60 frames per second. So you're getting good video quality and the best camera, in my opinion, on a OnePlus device that we've ever had. You're just getting, and it started with the Fold. The Fold had great cameras, or not the Fold, the Open had great cameras on their folding device. And now we are getting that on the OnePlus 12. So I'm excited about what this phone has to offer. And I want to see just OnePlus just keep going down this same path that they've been on for the past year. Because if you haven't tried a OnePlus device, now is the time. If you're on a budget, go 12R. If you got a little more bit to spend, try the OnePlus 12. You're not going to be disappointed. You do not need to spend a ton of money anymore to get a flagship phone. OnePlus is giving us exactly that. And on the earbud side of things, the OnePlus Buds Pro 2, the OnePlus Buds 3, very cheap earbuds compared to what else is out there that give us the same thing. And I do got a comparison coming out with the OnePlus Buds Pro 2 going up against the Sennheiser Momentum 4s, which is about $170 difference between the two. And when it comes to bang for buck, there isn't that difference when using those earbuds. But the OnePlus 12, what a great device. I'm here for it. I'm excited about OnePlus. I've been excited with OnePlus. I've always been a fan of OnePlus, but again, this is not paid for. This is not sponsored. I bought this device with my own money, and I'm just a big fan. This is my daily. I listed, you guys know if you follow me, I listed my S24 Ultra and my S24 Plus on Twitter for sale because of this device. This will be my main device moving forward. I don't need the Ultra or the Plus. They are both great devices. This is all I need right here. Much cheaper, same experience, minus the S Pen and a few other things. But battery life, the display, just pull out your phone, shoot a photo, good to go. All day, day and a half, sometimes 2 days battery life on here. Fast charging, top it off in 10 minutes. I got 60, 70%, which is crazy. The OnePlus 12. What do you guys think? And the colorways. Colorways on here are dope. This black and that green color is fire. I'll be back soon, guys. Peace.